Hello, hope you're all having a wonderful evening. So today I'd like to welcome you all to our first ever episode of TechMadalawa. So today our topic is be active with tech communities with the new normal. So today we are having our first ever session of the TechMadalawa. My name is Gihan Sirivardhan. I currently work as software engineer at Cisco Labs Technologies. Gihanti?
Hi, I am Gihanti Singha, a third year undergraduate from the University of Pune. Today, we are lucky to have three amazing speakers to share their experiences and walk us through the successful journey that they have gone through. Gihanaya?
Yes, Gihanti. So first we have Miss Hansamali, who's currently working as a tech lead at Cam Solutions and has over 9 years of experience. And she was awarded with Microsoft Most Valuable Professional Award for 4 consecutive years. Gihanti?
Yes, Gihanaya. Next, we have another amazing figure with us. That's Mr. Keshan Sodimana, who is a passionate technologist, a developer, and an entrepreneur with a vision for software development. He is one of the co-founders of Xiomec and Open Data. Gihanaya.
At last but not least, we have Mr. Dilum Silva, a passionate tech enthusiast who is working at Circle.life as an iOS developer and and also one of the active members in the GitHub campus expert community. So I would like to welcome all three of you to our very first session of TechMadalawa. So let's begin. When we get this idea about this tech modeler program, so like we always wanted to change the way we do our tech events. So that's why we wanted to do like an interview rather than having a basic tech like tech show or tech talk. So it's like actually like we actually like me and the audience team like know you all, but for the sake of our viewers at home, so can you please tell us about yourself and what you're doing right now, or what are your areas of expertise, and a little bit of introduction about yourself. So can we start with Hansamali?
Okay, thanks for that lovely introduction. I'm Hansamali. I work as a technical lead in CAM Management Solutions, and I have like 8+ years of experience in the tech industry. And I'm a mom to 2.5 years old boy. And in my spare time, I like to blog and speak in various conferences to share my knowledge plus to gain something back from the community. That's about me.
So can we go to Keshan next?
Hi, yeah. So thank you very much for inviting me, and it's nice to be here in another event like this. It's a different event. So I'm Keshan, and little bit about me. I'm working as a data scientist at SAC Analytics, where we do data analytics on healthcare industry about on healthcare data. So basically, my background is on software engineering, computer science, and now I'm moving back a bit into data science and machine learning. So what I'm doing right now is like locked down in my house for nearly 2 years now. So it's depressing, I know, for everyone. So hopefully we can get back to normal and have more physical events in the near future.
Yeah, then Dilum.
Hey, hi, Gihan. First of all, thanks for having me on this show. Tech Madalawa, we always we used to watch Dora Madalawa, right? So it's happy to see it's coming back to tech side as well. So about myself, I'm currently working as iOS engineer for Circus Life Singapore. Circus Life is a digital MVNO. What you call MVNO is like basically a mobile virtual network provider. So we are close to we are operated in a couple of countries, and other than that, I'm most of my other time like I'm used to host tech shows with GitHub and actively working with the tech communities as Keshan and Hansamali said, like to like gain something from the community as well as to share what I know with the community who like that's what basically I'm doing whenever I got a free time. So yeah, I think yeah, again, thanks for having me.
Great, great. So, like in all our tech shows before that, like always speakers get to talk. So not this time. Not this time. You are not going to get away with it that easy with our new platform. So actually, in here we are going to ask you questions that we are like we have burning questions. Like we are actually beginners to this industry, and and you guys have years of experience like than us. And when we choosing our panel for this event, we wanted to catch as much as a spectrum in the text spectrum. So we have a representation from MVP community, women in tech, GDG, GitHub, and all these things. So like today we are going to ask burning question that an undergraduate has about this industry and how to get into this. And like we all know, this is like a very competitive industry to get into. And so that's like let's just start asking questions. So Gihanti, would you mind asking the first questions?
Yes, Kihanaya, I have the prescription. So I would like to ask, what are the new emerging concepts and technologies adjusting to this new reality? For an example, audio chat rooms like Clubhouse. So can you explain us about that?
Yeah, anyone can take the stage and answer. Uh,
I may go with couple of like because I think the platform that we are hosting this show is also something which became very famous with this new normal, right? So StreamYard, I think a lot of people are now it's like those days the soft skills were there. Soft skill is like basically you are how talking to people and how you can like handle a language and then managing things and managing events, like those kind of things were soft skills those days. But now I think we all have to like know how we can like simply go live and how we can connect with couple of platforms and like share our experience. I think that's sort of new emerging technologies, and I think that's kind of a soft skills now. Having knowledge about StreamYard, connecting between couple of platforms, like this has come like this has come, I think it has become something new, and like learning uh, co- those tools and technologies which we can like stream and like connect with each other to share new languages, our thoughts.
anyone would like to add something? Kishanaya, Hansmaleka?
Yeah, I think with this new normal, one good, I mean, good thing is that everybody is like going online now. Everybody knows like how to use an e-commerce site, how to do online shopping, and how to host a meeting or how to call someone through a voice chat or a video chat, and people are like getting more comfortable with it. So as people from the tech community, probably that's an opportunity for us, and something that we were familiar with for a long time, and we are like comfortable. Usually people who are in the tech are pretty like they are introverts. They don't like to go and talk to people a lot. So this kind of a technology might be like, in a way, it's a blessing in disguise for us. So apart from that, like online, like e-learning, online education, those are the things that I saw in the recent past. I mean, recent few months that are getting into like everybody's life. And yeah, and online, like everything is coming onto the online platform. Like so many tools and platforms are emerging. So could be a good thing for us as technologists. So yeah, there could be opportunities, and it would be good for us to uh, learn the trends, identify the trends, and use it for our good as well, and for the society's good.
Exactly. Hansmaleka, would you like to add something to that?
Yeah, I think as Dilum and Keshan mentioned, with this current situation in all over the countries, I think if I talk about something like the interviews when you are going to join for a new company, so it's all all are online, and you have to practice some soft skills kind of stuff to face to an interview, because it's not a physical one. And also when I remember when we are starting a new project with the client, so usually sometimes that clients are coming to the Sri Lankan office, and they are having these 2 weeks or 3 weeks workshops, and we get the requirements and we deliver something. But it has been changed now, no one can't go out. So I can see like a lot of companies, especially project companies, they are starting their projects with the customer with online meeting. So when a client meeting, when in a stand up, the day-to-day stand up, so you have to do some kind of rituals when you are uh, meeting with meeting with your colleagues or maybe with the client. So there are some skill sets and some things that you have to consider when you are joining for online meeting and also for the online interview. So those are my 2 cents.
Amazing, amazing. So our topic into this, in this first episode in TechMadalawa is how to be active in communities. So today we have three speakers from, as I mentioned before as well, from MVP community, MLSA community, GitHub Campus Expert community, GDG. So all these things. So I would like to go to Dilumaya and ask about how he managed to join GitHub Campus Expert program and what is that and how anyone else can join that program.
Yeah, sure, of course. So basically, I would say I got the opportunity to know about this program because of the connection I had with the community. Because one of my good friends, and for past few years, Isuru Abevardhan, he was we met from one of the word camps. I think Sri Lanka's first ever word camp happened for WordPress in Sri Lanka. So we both were in the organizing committee, and we had regular chats. We became friends, and then Isuru had, Isuru was sharing me like, hey, look, there's a very good opportunity from GitHub. He has got to know about this from one of his Google Summer of Code friends from another country. So we didn't know about that, and by the time he has already completed, so he had an idea like what are the privileges that we can bring to our country, and for the student community. So he was pushing me like, hey, look, this thing is there, so why don't you apply and give it a try. So I went through, anyone can now if you like to become a part of GitHub Campus Expert community, you can just search for GitHub Education and go there, and there's this GitHub Campus Expert joining link there. So you can click on that, and they'll be asking, they will first evaluate what are the honest thoughts that you have in your head, like whether you want to do something to the community, or you are going to just apply for a position. So that you have to clearly I think you have to present them. Now there's a video submission as well, so you have to present what are the motives behind you to apply to GitHub, become a campus expert, and what you are planning to do, and what are the things that you are bringing to your community, and how you are going to build up your community and give the advantages to them instead of just holding a position. So I think that's the mindset you should have when you're applying for the GitHub community campus expert program, because they evaluate that specifically. And yeah, the opportunity, and I would say the opportunity is huge, because those days they were sponsoring to travel around the world and for your events. So if you're doing something good to the community, or if you're planning to share your experience or anything like that, GitHub is back to you. They do they do give monetary support as well as other sponsorships as well. So coming back to the question that you asked, how to join this, it's straightforward. Just a screening, and what you have to do and what's the motivation you have to apply for GitHub Campus Expert program. After that, you will be going through a kind of a course where they improve, they help you to brush up your different skills, like event management to event organizing to presenting yourself, and technical skills related to GitHub and their ecosystem. And finally we will be having one interview with one of the program managers. And it's also kind of a casual chat, just to understand what are the values that you are trying to bring to the community, because those people, they really want to evaluate and see, once you become a GitHub Campus expert, what are the things that your community is getting, not you. because they all want they what is their motivation is to like improve the quality of the community, tech community, and like student communities. So yeah, that's the way to like apply and become a GitHub campus expert. So advantages wise, I would say that is one of the best opportunities I have ever got, because my network circles expand a lot. So I got to meet a lot of people. I would say whatever the country you name it, like I can find a friend from there, because most of the times I have someone from the GitHub community or the student communities. I know someone. So those are some of the privileges that you getting by being a campus expert or any community leader, I would say. So, and other than that, I feel personally like I have improved a lot how I like back in 2016, how I present myself and how I'm presenting myself now. And like the phobia I had for speak in front of a huge audience and all that, those things are gone because of the program. So I think that's kind of a privilege, like that you can get as a student, because when you are a student, it's not only the technical skills nowadays you have to improve, because it's more like a balance of technical skills and like other skills that you can like managing events, like presenting things, like organizing things, managing teams, collaborating with a couple of people, different groups, so different cultures basically. So those kind of things also, like you can improve when you are a part of a community, I think. Mostly GitHub campus expert program like helped me a lot to like improve those sites as well. I think I
Thank you.
answered your question, Gihan.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you very much. Gihanti?
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Keshan, so can you please explain us what is GDG actually and how to become a part of it?
Yeah, so GDG is Google Developer Groups, which started in 2009. So I, along with a couple of friends, started GDG back in 2009. So it's a group where, like initially we started it as so back then it was called a Google Technology User Group, and we started it in our university just to have a forum where we can express ourselves, so and share our knowledge in different areas. So different people have knowledge in different technologies, and we didn't have a proper forum kind of a thing to do that. So it was just for that reason that we started back in 2009 as a small group. Small, but we had around 60 people. That's small compared to what we have today. uh, so uh, so even now, like people are joining it uh, to I mean, initially it didn't have any kind of boundary where we just talk about Google technologies or anything like that. We were open to anything because it was not initially backed by Google or anything. But now I think it has improved, and it has a more structured program, and Google is supporting, and there are so many other companies involving, and there are so many partners, and there are so many events going on. So in order to join GDG right now, I think you have to first involved with what they are doing. So they host events. They organize events in different times of the year. Like for example, DevFest, which I think it was in yesterday, and there are events like Google I/O, and some months they have very frequent events. So first you have to participate and see what's going on, going in the events, and how the things are going on, and then maybe you can talk to organizers and see how you can take part in the organizing an event in your university or in your workplace or whatever, and then make the trust about yourself on the organizers, like uh, show that you are a good organizer, you can do events, you can support them. So once you do that, the organizers will talk and ask you to do more bigger events, like take part in the bigger events. So that's how usually that you can join with the GDG team. There's no applying process or anything. You can just talk to them and see how what are the areas that you can support with. Like there can be areas where, like for example, doing some like designing the flyers, or maybe organizing events in your university. uh, there can be anything like volunteering to bigger events. So you can start with that kind of a role, and then gradually show that your abilities, and then move into the organizing kind of I mean, there are no roles, but people are like known to have different roles in the community. You don't have like there are no assigned roles, but when you are working for like few years with the experience, people are recognize you as a organizer or kind of a main member of the event of that organization. So although there are no particular assigned roles like that, there are like community wise you have some consensus like from the community members about your role. So you can be that, like you have to be on the team for a long time to do be able to get such a position.
Great,
Thank you
great.
so
Thank you.
much.
Yeah. So, Hansamali, so coming to you, you have actually like you are part of Women in Tech, Sri Lanka Dev Forum, MVP community. So, can you please explain each and every one of them, and actually how to become part of those communities and participate those events?
Okay. So actually, when I was a graduate, I was not into any community activities. So I regret for that. I don't know whether it was very popular back in 2009. I started and I graduated in 2012. I don't know. It may be famous, but I was not into the community work. I was more into the going to the lectures and going through the exams. But you can do parallelly do everything, the community work plus the academic side. Uh, so when it comes to become MVP, you have to do some community work like you. I didn't actually start blogging or speaking in conferences to become a MVP. I just wanted to make a name to myself and to do something and to get some satisfaction out of that when you have some good feedback from your seniors, from your colleagues. So I used to start blogging when I then some one of my tech leads suggested me whether you be able to do a session in the internal tech talk events they were organizing. But later he told me that he thought like I will not take that challenge because I was very soft spoken and I was a trainee software engineer in that company. But I took up that challenge and I did my first tech talk in an internal tech community, and then I got good feedback, and then I got a chance to speak in Sri Lanka Developer Forum. So Sri Lanka Developer Forum is like 15 years old. uh, they have got together all the tech minds in Sri Lanka related to Microsoft technologies has have been gathered, and they have formed this Sri Lanka Developer Forum. And we have like 3,000 some 4,000 members in there, and we used to host our monthly meetups in Microsoft Office, but now it has all been virtual and we are hosting virtual events, and we are looking for fresh faces, the fresh speakers, because now we are old, we are like 30 plus people. So we want some 20 25 kind of young energetic minds to uh, get along with this the Sri Lanka Developer Forum and grow old with that. uh, so we do have monthly meetups, and if you like to speak and if you want to like share your ideas, kind of things like that, so you can ping me maybe on Facebook or maybe to my Gmail or any of the social media platforms. And we have formed this Women in Tech Sri Lanka group in I think this year. So I saw like we can see so many tech groups are available, like for the Azure, the DevOps, Google side, maybe the Microsoft technology stack, and so many technical conferences, these technical meetups are happening. But I saw gap that we don't have a forum for the girls or the for the ladies to master in the soft skills and to share their ideas, because with most of the time these girls in the universities, they don't like to become software engineers, or maybe they don't like to come into the tech stack, because of some myths in the industry that you have to work late night, you have to like be like this and be like that, because of some few things like that. And some ladies, after getting married or maybe having after having kids, they don't like to persuade their careers. They like to be specifically going more into the family side of all. So we can see some examples that there are so many tech women's COOs, CTOs, architects, tech leads are there now. They are happily like having a family, good family life, plus uh, they are in the top of the ladder in their career. So we wanted to show those examples and to motivate the ladies, so the girls in the universities, school leavers as well. So that's why we started that Women in Tech Forum.
Yeah, Nihanti?
Yes, Mr. Keshan, we came to know when you were in GDG, you have a part of in integration engineering in Sinhala Google Keyboard Font development. So, what do you think about that, and what can you explain about that? So, can you share your experience with us?
Yeah, that was not with GDG. So I left GDG in 2014, and then I got an offer from Google, and I got to work at Google. So when I was working there, I was involved with uh, like basically when I joined Google in 2014, there was no support for Signal on Android. If you happen to use Android phones before 2015, maybe the Signal font was not rendering properly, and we didn't have any keyboards. We didn't have any support for support in Android. So one of my key objective was to introduce or add those capabilities to these products. So as an objective, I proposed that to my team, and we were able to work with Android teams and got these things done. So one thing is the keyboard, and it was not in just me that did the all work, but it was I supported the Google's team to come up with all this stuff. And but then on I mean after that I was able to join more into the language processing stuff, so speech recognition, speech text to speech. So that was my area since 2016. uh, so even the single text to speech that you might have tested or heard, that's one of our projects, my team's projects. So yeah, that my experience is that there are so many things and so many opportunities, especially on the language, like because Sinhala as a language, it's only us who speak that language as and like natively. So there are so many opportunities if you are into machine learning or natural language processing. There are so many projects, like not just research projects, but also in the industry. Like if you don't work on these languages, nobody will do it. So the technology is there, like all the big companies like Microsoft, Google, they have like Facebook, and they have released or publicly open source so many data sets, technologies like research papers. There are so many stuff that's available. But if you want to work on something, especially for language like Sinhala or even Tamil, uh, I mean, they will not work on this stuff unless you are willing to support them, or maybe not in a company level, but even in your personal strength, you can just do something for the language, just as a hobby project. Maybe start to train a simple single language model. I mean, if you are into that stuff, so the opportunity is there, because nobody will try to train Sinhala models or Tamil models. Everybody will look at the big languages like English, French, or Japanese or Chinese or those kind of languages. So what I need to say is like, if you want to find the easier, more easier, or uh, the projects with the least barrier, probably it could be your language, which has more impact on the society as well. Uh, so yeah, that's about the language thing that you asked me. I think I answered your question.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, Nayan.
Dilum. Yeah. So Dilum, I got to know that you worked with Google Summer of Code a few times, and you got chance to submit your code and featured in Google Summer of Code. So can you tell me about how that experience affected you to become a better student and a better professional, and how that experience changed your life?
Yeah, that's a good question, I would say. So, as a student, I see Google Summer of Code as a like very good opportunity, because I didn't have the privilege to join a local university, but I was studying in a private university, and my parents had to like pay for the degree program, and like there's some cost involved when I was like doing my degree, my bachelor's. So not to mention, so Google Summer of Code. Anyway, the first thing, the first motive I had one day, one of my lectures came to, like our usual lecturing, the lecture slot, and he was telling like, hey, like there's a student who covered half of his degree program, the cost of his degree program, by taking part in this competition. So that got my like attention back then in 2016. So I was like, oh wow, what is it? So then like I got to know they were talking about gsoc, right? So I didn't even know what does this gsoc meaning means. So then I like wherever I see a post, like wherever who is speaking about gsoc, I used to attend those like tech talks in my university. And one day, like one of my seniors, when I was in first year, so he was explaining the entire program and how it is and what we are need to do. So basically 3 months of coding, and then you get a mentor and very good exposure, because you do this open source contributing. That keyword also I heard from that. So then my next point was what is open source and what is GitHub, and I that's how I learned GitHub. And like that's how I got to know that there's something called open source, where we contribute common code, where most of the people are getting privileged to use it. And like it's free to use, and there's no cost involved in that code, and the code base is publicly available to like learn and share. So after all that, because now these are the things basically I got because of gsoc keyword, right? So
Yeah, and
then I
Dilum,
was
sorry.
keep trying.
Dilum, uh, Dilum,
Yes.
like for 1 minute. So for viewers at home who don't know what Google Summer of Code is, can you please like mention a little bit about what
Mhm.
that is and how it works?
Yeah, yeah. Yes, sure. So Google Summer of Code, basically hosted by Google. It's a program to like motivate the open source. I was planning to come to that point. So I was talking about open source, right? Basically, open source is nothing but the code is publicly available. Like anyone can freely use it. Like and like you have the ability to contribute and fix bugs. So it's like a group of people who have the mindset of like develop something publicly available without no cost. So that's open source, and it's, I would say, it's a mindset instead of a like keyword. So you should have that like mindset of helping others, and you should see the advantages of being open source contribute. And Google Summer of Code is basically a program hosted by Google to like motivate the open source contributors around the world. So it has been, I think, they are in the industry close to 20 or 15 years, as I remember, if I'm not mistaken. Along with there was a program called Google Coding as well. Now it's not there anymore. It was after the 10th year celebration they have closed the program. But Google Summer of Code is basically it's like a 6 month sort of a program, where before that you have to like prove yourself and get yourself comfortable with open source contributing, GitHub, what is PR, like how you push your code to like how you fix bugs and all those things. So when you have that knowledge, you can like see what are your interests. Like if you find any interesting project in uh, open source GitHub, or which listed under Google Summer of Code as an organization. So first you have to find organization. Then from that you can like search for any of based on your interests, interesting technologies that you are like looking for. You can search. It can be a web development project, it can be a mobile project, anything. If that organization has a interesting project, you can like go through the project, start setting up the project, and you can engage with the community and the people who are working on that project, including mentors, organization admins, and the people who are contributing to that project. It can be Gitter. There's something called Gitter, a chat platform, and also mailing groups are also there, mailing threads where you can subscribe to a particular mailing thread and get the updates. So it's basically engaging with the open source culture and contributing to that project. So when you feel comfortable, like let's say after you when you're working for some time with the project, you get the idea of where I can improve this project, what are the missing parts of this project, what are the benefits that I can bring up to this project. Those kind of, when you have that kind of a idea, you can come up with a proposal. So that proposal you can submit in the beginning of Google Summer of Code. Each year there's this Google Summer of Code, mostly announced in the first half of first few quarters of the year. And it will start from the middle quarter of the year and go till last quarter of the year. So basically you submit your proposal, and someone has to accept, like the organization will review your proposal, and they will submit, like basically you submit it to the Google Summer of Code portal, and the organization will review your proposal. And if they feel like that you are trying to adding a value to the project, and if you are trying to improve the project, they will accept your proposal. Once you accepted, you have a mentor, and then the coding period will start, and you have to work on what you proposed during the proposal submission. So that's the basically the program. But I would like to highlight a couple of points, because I have been trying for like more than 2-3 years to get into Google Summer of Code, but I failed, because I have been writing proposals like in a very, I would say, very basic level. I didn't know like what are the things I have to do. So I think that's the experience I should share with other folks, because Google Summer of Code is nothing like you can't just go ahead and apply and you get selected. That's very rare, because you have to first, like I said, you have to first get familiar yourself with the project, because then only you will come up with this where I can improve, those kind of ideas. Because the day, like let's say tomorrow they are going to announce Google Summer of Code. Today you are going to select a project and download that, and set up that project. That won't help you, because you have to have a better idea, and you have to trial and error. You have to fix some issues. You have to at least go through the code and understand what is happening from the different components of the code. And when you have a solid understanding like that, so I think that's the perfect time to apply for Google Summer of Code. And try to engage with the community as well when you are trying to apply for Google Summer of Code. That's a must, because if you don't have a proper connection with your mentors, from the setting up stage, I think you can engage with the community. If you have any trouble, let's say you don't know this dependency is giving you error, so you can take a screenshot, you can do Google search, and you can post it in one of the threads, and you can ask help. And because I'm pretty sure for any project there's a person who has tried the same step before you. So get that help and engage with them. So when you're active on the community, and when you're active in that project, they will see a value in your project and the proposal. So that's the point, that you get this lucky ticket to be a part of Google Summer of Code. And once you become a Google Summer of Code, it will drastically change your profile, because having Google Summer of Code student in your CV is going to give an extra highlighter sort of a thing to your CV, I would say. Because I have been into more than, I think, 100 plus interviews, and they were asking, they were really really happy to see when they are sorting out the CVs also. That is a key thing that you can have in your profile to get yourself highlighted. Because mostly international tech companies, they are really interested in being a part of tech communities and programs like Google Summer of Code. If you are open source contributor, if you have valid contributions, so in a way that's proving that you are a skillful person in that technology. Let's say you are saying that you are interested in Java or JavaScript, right? Say for example. But if your GitHub profile doesn't have any JavaScript or Java projects, then it's really hard to to them to evaluate. But let's say you have you have tried a lot of projects, you have hands-on experience. Even during an interview, what I do is, mostly when I go to an interview, if they ask for me to show them something, I always have my GitHub profile, and I come up with I show them a project, and I explain, this is how I understand the architecture, this is how I do the part, and these are the best practices that I have been following in this technology, that technology. So that's way easier to, like, that's proving that you have a background in this particular technology. I think that's a sort of advantage that you are getting from Google Summer. One thing you get used to, like, work with open source, and you get a good recognition in your CV and all that. So, and also apart on top of all that, you get some, like, I would say some money, dollars, because when you are a student, you have a lot of things to achieve, right? When I was a student, I was doing, like, I was so addicted to these Apple products, having a MacBook, and, like, to purchase a GPU based laptop and all that. So the Google Summer of Code helped me in that way as well. Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
think
Mr.
I
Dilum.
answered this
So, Mr.
question.
Keshan, yes. So, thank you. And Mr. Keshan, do you think taking part in community work at universities affect your career? And if you do, so how much do you think, how much of an effect you had?
You mean the career, right? Well, I don't know. It's hard to answer. Yeah, I think it helps a lot. Helps a lot. So let me tell you my story. I started going to events in 2008, if I'm not wrong, to the same Microsoft Student Champs. So that was my first event. I was introduced to Champs by one of my seniors. I was a first year student back then, and I went there just purely just to for the pizza and for the t-shirt. That's all. I mean, just for the pizza. I mean, to be honest, really honest. So I went there just to eat it, and then on the first month, I was inspired because I never saw such a event before. And back then, like in 2008, there were no community events, and there were few meetups, but those were not tech events. There were forums like I think .NET forum was there, but not much things were happening back then. So I was really interested by the group because it's a small group, and like there are so many people from different universities with different backgrounds, and we were like having fun. It's not just the tech talk, but we were having fun during the event and also after the event. So in the next month, very next month, I wanted to do a talk like speech. That's the second month, right? I was then the one who was I don't remember his name. He said that are you sure you want to do a session on the next month? Because I was a first year student. It was my first champ event. The reason was I'm afraid to talk in front of people, right? Still I mean I'm not a good speaker. Still I'm a terrible speaker. I can't speak well in front of a audience, but I know if I want to improve it, I have to do it. So that's why on the second month I wanted to do an event because the group, the community, the small group was I mean I felt comfortable with them. They were like all in the same age. Like I was around like, no, I don't need to mention my age, but anyway, like at that time all the people were around my age, so it was easy for me to engage with them. uh, so that's how I started. Although I went for the pizza first, I learned that there is something more than pizza that I can get from the community. Uh, so I think that helped because I started feeling more comfortable with people, and there was a good network that I could create with the community. And then after a few months, after it was on 2008, around September, October, I guess. And then I with along with a couple of other friends started GDG in 2009. So again, the reason was to have a forum where we can express our thoughts, like not just doing the university work. Like anyway, I was not doing it well, but however, like not just to follow the course contents, but something beyond that, because everybody has that knowledge. Everybody in your degree program will have that knowledge. So if you want to have an edge, you have to go beyond that. So it could be open source, it could be like open sourcing your projects, doing something new, or researching means learning about new things, the new trends, new technologies, what's going on in the world. So learning those stuff. So that's how the community thing started with me, and I think that really helped me to grow myself as a person. throughout the years. And probably because of that, I was able to join Google, because otherwise I won't be going to through that path. Maybe I might still, I don't know. It can't. I mean, it's hard to predict what would have been if I didn't work with the communities. So yeah, uh, in simple words, yes, it helped a lot. So it's so for me, it's to just to overcome my weaknesses. I'm still doing it. I'm still a terrible speaker, but still I feel like I'm improving. Whenever I get a chance to speak, I always do it because I want to overcome my weakness. Yeah.
Yeah, Keshan, so then Hansamali, so in the introduction you said that you have 2-year-old boy. So being a mom, being a tech person, being a tech lead, managing three communities, like like I feel like it's a lot to work like simultaneously. So like my question is like was being involved in communities and taking responsibilities in like in these like different areas have helped like have it helped you to become a better person and manage all these things simultaneously without without an effort. Would love to hear a bit on that.
Yeah, I think I find satisfaction by doing everything. That's difficult actually. I can't say it's really easy. Uh, I think this pandemic situation started last year. It was new for everyone, so it was new for me as well. So my kid was like 8 months old, and then this pandemic happened. I thought like it will be there for like 6 7 months. I didn't have any helpers to like do all the cleaning and cooking related stuff. Plus I have to attend the meetings with the 7 months old, so it was very difficult. uh, but my actually my husband helped me a lot, so he was also in the IT industry, so he can understand. And my mom, mother-in-law, everyone was helping me. That's difficult actually to do everything, but if you have the will, I think you will be able to find a way. That's the slogan I have put on myself. If you don't like to become a tech enthusiast, or just go for a 8 to 5 job, and then you like to own a beautiful garden and do the gardening stuff, then that's fine, that's your hobby. So if you cover for 8 to 5 job, and you want to read books, or you want to play games, or you want to listen to songs, then you can do that. If you find the hobby, if you have the passion to speak, or to blog, or to get the feedback from someone that you don't know, somewhere in the other corner of the world, they have like put a comment on your one of your blog post, and they say like, wow, this article was very useful for me, you have saved my 3 4 hours of work. So then if that finds the satisfaction, then you can follow that. I am not like doing uh, I do some family related stuff as well with my 2 2.5 years old toddler. And after like he goes to bed, I have my free time to do what I want. I i watch some TV serials. These days I'm watching The Good Doctor, that autistic surgeon that has some the like struggles in his career. And uh, sometimes I sometimes all the 7 days of my week I don't do any tech kind of stuff, organizing events or writing blogs or doing any research related stuff that requires it at my office. So I just go blank and covering up whole TV series like 30 to 40 episodes in the night once my kid goes to bed. So you can, if you find the satisfaction, I think you can follow your path. It's not a barrier to follow your dream, even though you are a mom, or even though you are a wife to someone. I think you don't have any barriers.
like uh, like I have like I have a second part to that question. So like being a woman in tech, so as you mentioned before, like there are like so many myths, right? like like tech industries, like a career for men, it's not for women. But nowadays I feel like more companies go for women in tech. So like you have actually created an entire community based on that. So you have a community to encourage women. So I would like to give you this chance to elaborate a little bit more on that community, and ask our girls and ask our girls in our universities to come to that community and be a part of that community, and become a better tech people basically. uh, I would like to give you a chance to do that.
Yeah, I think nowadays more companies like they are promoting this women in tech and they tend to hire more girls or the ladies into their tent. So that's a good thing. That's very good thing. It's not only the QA girls or the BAs. We have some architects, tech leads, and CTOs, COOs, the women CEOs. So it's really great. I think when it compares to the other industries, like I don't have much information on that, but your client or your CTO, your tech lead doesn't see you as a female or a male employee. So you are getting the same rate from the client, even though you are a girl or a boy. And if you can solve the puzzle they have given to you, so the gender equality or kind of stuff is not existing in the IT industry, as I think, because we have the same pay and we have the same opportunities. They don't see you as a girl or a woman. In one of the SharePoint conferences, in one of the podcasts, they have selected one of my blog, and they were given, they have like just described what is this blog says, and it has written by Hansamali Gamage. That's how they have like pronounced my name. And oh no, it was a girl, it's not a boy, sorry for that. So they have like apologized in that podcast. Usually they see this post is from a male, but from a man, but we do have some really good architects, tech leads, and really tech enthusiast women's as well.
Amazing, amazing. So like, and we're getting questions from our viewers at home, basically on YouTube, Facebook. So I think we have answered this question fairly. So Hirana, can we go to the next question? Since you are limited time. Uh, Gihanti? Okay, so like we are getting question from our audience, asking and a person from different discipline, such as biologist or some other subject that is not related to IT, be successful in technology industry. So I think basically they're talking about a person who is doing bio in their A levels, and as they are like they might not be familiar with IT as well. So uh, anyone of you like to take that and answer that? Keshanaya, Dinumaya, Anueka?
Yeah, I think I can answer. Of course, you can be successful in IT industry even though you don't have a proper computer science background. Because I have seen so many people, such people who has a different knowledge, and that's actually vital. Sometimes you may not be the greatest engineer in the team, but so IT industry is a team game. You have a team. So I can talk about the data science and all this. I mean that area because I have more experience there, and especially in the data science world, it's a team game. So you have to have people from different experts in different domains. So having a knowledge in a different domain like biology or maybe in finance or something like that would really help you to grow in the IT industry. And if you happen to have a good solid like programming skills and IT knowledge, that would make you a superman or a superwoman, because you know different domains, and you can bridge those two domains, and you can create something out of out of those two domains, which would be a vital which would be very important uh, in today's world, because not many people speak other domains language. Like, for example, right now I'm working with the healthcare industry, and I don't understand most of the jargons or the terms that those are in the healthcare industry. So if you happen to have a background in biology, probably you might understand those stuff, and it would be easy for you to work in such projects. And let's say if you're working with a finance project in a finance domain, and if you happen to have a background, like if you know something about accounting or economics or whatever the topics that you have learned in the school or in the university, then that could definitely help you to have a better idea or better insight about that project, or the work or the product that you're going to do. And with that knowledge, I think you can maybe you can come up with new ideas that the technology people might not see directly. So I think that's a really important thing, and you can definitely be successful if you have the passion. If you are interested in the IT industry, definitely you can be successful. Only thing is that you have to have the passion and the interest in both the domains.
So we are getting a comment that saying that Dilum done his A level in biology.
Yes,
Uh,
I think tech. I don't know who's this tech owner, but seems like he's pretty much familiar with my profile. Yeah, I was also going to say like Keshan. It was a very complete answer. So in top of that, I can add something like I have exactly the same experience. I was a biology student back then when I was doing A levels. Tried three times to like get into a medical college. Thanks to our government district quota and all that, I was able to like get into IT industry instead of getting into a medical college. So so that's I would say like initially it was a challenging thing because it was not me who that took that decision. Also, it was my parents. I just went for a seminar and I got to know I was registered for a degree program. So that's how it started, and then I started like going to lectures at IIT, and like the initial first week I was like whatever the keywords I am getting to like here I am just jogging like like jot down them and come back home and like Google it. I have been into Keshan's tech talks in GDG and Haritaya's tech talks. So they were all they were telling about very complex keywords and all that. So what I do, I just like jot down the keywords and come back and like do my research on myself. So I would say having as Keshan mentioned, having a background from a different domain, that's also good because there you get a lot of ideas because computer science is something like you apply on top of any other domain, right? I think all of you will agree with me because computer science is not something like purely on computer science. It's like we have pure computer science, but we have a mathematics background, and what we do right now is like mostly applying computer science and what we learned as technology on top of other domains and try to like make the common the majority's life easier, because whatever the application we come up with, it doesn't matter you are a biology person or whoever, that we like your banking app, it just makes your life easier, right? So something like that. So I think as Keshan said, like coming from different backgrounds always helps you to like uh, contribute different ideas and different like different thoughts to your team. And it's a teamwork. I really like that word. When it comes to IT, it's always a teamwork, and like win as a team, and like achieve something and deliver something as a team. So yeah, it doesn't matter whether you're coming from biology, because I was able to finish it, and I think most of you all should also be able to finish it. But as Keshan mentioned, I would also like to highlight, you have to have the passion. Don't just like demotivate yourself because you are coming from a biology background that you can't do computer science. Just to be honest, like in my first lecture, my lecturer opened the command prompt. So I was asking the next person how he got that black box, because I didn't have that knowledge. He put Windows some Windows R or something like that, and he quickly got that box. So I was like, I haven't never seen this application. How I can open this? So that's the knowledge I had, and I'm like I'm surviving for like 2+ years now in the industry also, and like helping other people, and I believe I have learned something, because I would say these communities are a good opportunity for you to like learn a lot of things, because I learned a lot from like being a part of a lot of tech talks. Like I used to go to dialogue auditorium back then, for all the like tech talks and tech meetups. I remember Microsoft Sri Lanka in Namamawata, the on top of some building. I don't remember the exact floor, but they have a lot of meetups and dialogue auditorium. Those are like famous meetups that I used to, and WSO2 auditorium. So I used to like be a part of a lot of tech talks, and that's what I did. Whenever I hear a new word, I come home and do my own research, and if I feel it interesting, I like read through it and like try to understand what's happening behind this technology. So yeah, that should not be a barrier. uh, that's not something should have in your checkboxes. So biology or whatever the domain that you are coming from, that's not a like something to like think even.
Thank you. We are getting another question. So it says, how exciting was GitHub Education's new Twitch stream experience? So can you explain about that?
I think that's one for me,
uh,
Dilum as well.
yeah, new Twitch experience. All right. So yeah, this is something when you work with communities like GitHub, as like they have sorry, they really know how to extract good skills. So they have like created a path of opportunities to like follow. So I was initially working with GitHub Campus Expert community team, and like then I got the chance to join GitHub Stream team, which is a common platform of like sharing experience and all that. Because with this common new the new normal or whatever, being online for everything that we do, we wanted to like um, not to break the events that we had during the past, the physical events. So we came up, GitHub came up with a team called GitHub Stream team, and they gave the opportunity to students to like present themselves online and like come up with various programs. So initial rounds were like putting a proposal, what's your stream or something like that's going to be. And then after approvals, like they sponsor you to like like with stream team accounts. Like I think StreamYard is also like a paid account, and also it has a free version with the developer pack and all that. But yeah, they were paying for they were sponsoring for all the like tools and like things that you want to like do a proper stream. And Twitch experience, it's a new experience. I haven't like before this stream thing, I never heard of Twitch. But then again, when I was checking with my friends, the people who play games a lot, they are pretty familiar with this platform Twitch, because they do game streaming. Then we thought, since we have a lot of gamers in the like gamers audience, and we saw like a lot of people are like it's an amazing crowd. A lot of people are like engaging with Twitch, so we selected Twitch. And like we are again for my stream tech sites, that it is happening every Saturday. We being professionals to talk like this, and like we also use StreamYard and Twitch connected to stream. So that's a good like experience, I would say, because now I know another platform which I can stream and like manage events. Because initially I knew this um, I was using OBS, open source software, and I was connecting YouTube Live and Facebook Live, those kind of couple of streams via OBS, and then I got into this StreamYard and Twitch. Yeah, that's also a new experience, a new I would say a new technology that I learned because of this new normal.
Yeah. Again, my question is to Hansamali. So we are having this like .NET conference in next week. So we get to work with a lot of different people. So especially I would like to mention Fikri as well. So how is it like working with these people with different mindset and different technology skills in the same industry? And after that, I would like to get some more details on this .NET conference that we are going to have in next week as well.
Yeah. So we are going to have the .NET conference next Saturday from 9 to 5. So 9 to 4 actually. It's like you will be having like 8 sessions with multiple speakers who is graduates, who are undergraduates still, and who has some experience as well. So if you have followed this .NET Conf event that has happened over the last few weeks, so you will be able to get the idea and what are the new things that Microsoft has revealed on .NET 6 and Visual Studio 2022. And when working with these amazing people, actually most of them are mentors for me. So when I also joined the SLDF Sri Lanka Developer Forum like 2016, and got the when I get the chance to do my first session in SLDF, and then actually I had a dream like, okay, now I have talked in two monthly meetups. I had a dream to go for a conference as well. So my inspiration was Pinal Dev. So he came down to Sri Lanka for one of the for that sequel Saturdays that we had in as a physical event those days, like 2015-16. So I had a dream to share the same stage with him. So I applied for a sequel Saturday in Sri Lanka and got selected, but not it was not my first proposal. I got rejected 2 times, and then this Dinesh, Priyankara, and Gokula. So they gave their suggestions, and according to that, I had to create the proposal 2 or 3 times in order to have a seat as a speaker in sequel Saturday. So it was very inspiring, and they all are like mentors for me, and I think it's a very great platform for you to experience, to be a good speaker, and also to share your experience in the technologies and to master your skills on the latest trends in the industry. Uh, yeah, that's all I wanted to say on that.
Thank you, Liz. So, Mr. Keshan, we have another question with us. So, what is the best way to improve programming? What do you think is the best way to improve programming?
Just doing it. Simple as that. uh, yeah, I mean, you have to do it. I mean, you have to, if you just watch tutorials, or if you just read tutorials, you will learn how to read and how to watch program, how to watch somebody else is doing programming. But if you want to be good at programming, then you have to do it. At least you have to run whatever the things in the tutorial. Just write and run the commands. That's it. I mean, you have to do it. There's no other way to become a good programmer. You have to just program. So simple as that.
Exactly, exactly. Apart from that, we used to host a lot of events physically. Actually, like as Keshan mentioned and Dilum mentioned, like we used to hang out at Microsoft Sri Lanka office, eat pizzas, drink Coca Colas, like just to have fun. But with this pandemic and all, we were actually, I feel like uh, like depressed as it, like in a way, in our rooms, in our like in front of a computer. But I think like that's the new normal, right? So like we have to adjust to that. So back then when we like host an event, like the number of participants were huge. I don't know, because like that's because of the swags or pizzas, or actually like the knowledge, or I don't know what it is. But when we switch to this like online platform, we have been seeing some downside of people getting to this streams and all these things. But like as community leaders, like we try to do experiments like with these kind of events, and with these kind of competitions, events, and all these things to attract the crowd. So like I'm asking all three of you that like what do you think that people like students should do? Like do they like should they attend to these events? Why should they attend to these events? And I would like to like take your experience on that, like opinion on that.
Yeah, maybe I can go first. I think like attending events. Now it's easier, right? Because those days I used to think like how I manage lectures and going to Dialog Garciata or Microsoft Office with huge traffic. Sometimes I entered the hall or the session session room. Like Keshan has already explained the like introduction. So now I'm jumping in between, and like I have to like recap all that what he is talking about, right, guys? So I think it's one advantage is it's far from you, like it's on your fingertip, like uh, properly subscribe to whatever you want to watch, not all, I would say. That's also one thing, like you have to focus on like what do you really want to learn. And then you have to keep like improving yourself on that particular subject or the topic, I would say. Because let's say you are joining GitHub sessions today, and you are joining JavaScript sessions next day, and you are joining artificial intelligence lectures next week, doesn't going to give you anything, right? Because it's like you will be like you will have the like introductory knowledge on one thing. So but being online is one thing I see is like it's a huge advantage. You don't face traffic and you don't feel tired. And it's true that you get depressed because of like you are in the same environment, but I would suggest you to like interact with people, talk to your parents, because at some point you feel like now you have a lot of time to like interact with your parents, and you see the real environment in your home. And I think you feel like again you are connected with your loved ones and all that. That's also a good thing, because there's another part that we haven't seen when we are like rushing ourselves with jobs, and like uh, to like move to those kind of tech events, physical events, whatever. So that's also good. And I think anyway, when you are depressed, like I think a lot of things we have to do, like you can talk to a person, you can like uh, that like COVID also giving a lot of like opportunities, I think. So I think in your life, like you can take whatever the challenges that is coming to you as opportunity as well. So that's how personally I believe. So whatever the challenge throwing at you, take it as opportunity, because in every challenge there's a, it can be difficult or it can be easy, but you can make it a opportunity to like shine and bright. um so yeah, that's my feedback. I think it can be taken in a good way as well, being online and the new normal.
Yeah. So personally, for me, this was normal since 2013 because I was doing, I was working in the similar way since 2013. So for me, it's nothing new, because I was working for a company where we didn't have an office here, and our team was scattered around the world. So for me, it's a normal thing. But when it comes to communities, it's totally different because before 2020, 2020 February, like we were doing events physically, and that was the only place I go and talk to people because I didn't have office, so I don't have any colleagues, office colleagues where I can meet and talk and have fun with. So when like after like every week, when I want to have some interaction with humans, that's where I go to a community and I talk to them, I have fun with them, I joke with them, like go to dinners, and that was my life. So since 2020, things changed. So it was affecting and it was really depressing, as you said. But on the other side, communities now are accessible, very like easily accessible. As Dilum said, you can access any group, any session, and you can just come and see whether if it interests you, or then you can drop without being whatever the free to the community, because you just come online and see if it suits you, you can just drop out. So there are so many ways that you can interact with the communities. I think one thing is not just watching or interacting with the video conferences, but maybe if you can interact with the community and come up with projects, like you can develop new projects, maybe open source projects. You might have ideas, and there can be people in the community who are good in programming, who are good at doing other stuff that you might not be good at. So you can join force with these people and do projects. Not maybe not to start your new like $1 billion startup, but as a project to enhance your abilities, your skills, and maybe impact. Well, if it doesn't impact, that's totally fine. It just as a learning thing, just to learn something. Try to form a group, maybe your friends in the community, come up with a project idea and open source it, so you can learn how GitHub works, how to run, like how to work with the platform, how to run these commands, how to commit to GitHub, or how to commit to open source project, and how to work with the team, how to understand each other's strengths and weaknesses, and how can they work together, and how to communicate. So all these things can be like learned uh, with this community in this structure, because you don't need to go outside and do that kind of a thing. You can use your email, you can use places like GitHub, you can use maybe this kind of a method to talk to your teammates. So that way, I think you can create your own resume when the COVID situation hopefully get better in the next few years, or at least in next few months. Hopefully next few months, if not years. When you are going out of that condition, when you back to the normal situation, like in 2019, you might have you will be a better person, transformed person. You have different skill sets, you have a good resume, you have a lot of projects under your belt, and you know new technologies, you know new people, you know how to work with teams, you have different skills, you have like overcome your some of your weaknesses. So that might be really like a blessing for you in the future. So rather than just wasting your time, maybe you can try to interact with community in a better way, not just joining events and watching the events. That's also good. The other thing is you can watch all the events on the YouTube channels, or wherever they share it any time that you want, because when we had events back then, the physical events, if the event is at 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., you have to be there at 5 p.m., right? Now you don't need to do that. If the event is at 5 p.m. and you have something else to attend, you can watch it at midnight, because the video will be there recorded on YouTube or whatever the platform. So so those things are available now. So just try to use it and improve yourself. That's the message I think I can give.
Thank you so much. We are getting another comment. I like to contribute for open source projects, but I know only the basics of programming. So, what is the minimum level of knowledge required to contribute for open source projects?
The one that he or she has mentioned, basics of program, that's all. So he or she has the minimum required knowledge to contribute, because it's not always programming. I mean, writing the perfect code. There's nothing called perfect code, or the hardest, like solving the hardest thing. If you can find a spelling mistake in a project, like in a document, and fixing it, that's also considered as a open source contribution. So even though you have a basic knowledge of programming, I think by looking at your question, I know you have a good knowledge in English, so you can read the documents, and you can find spelling mistakes, and you can go through the problems that, or the issues that a particular project has, and see whether there's anything that you can help with, or understand what kind of problems that they have in the project. Maybe you can start using that program first, the project first, and see how it works and how to work with it, and then find out what are the issues that mentioned, and what are the things that the developers are talking about. Just hang out in their email list, or the chats that they're using, and see what they're talking about. No need to interact first. If you don't know much, you just need to see what they're talking about, understand their language, understand their jargons, understand their terms that they're using, and then see, like, what are the opportunities that you have. Like I said, like, if there's a very small spelling mistake in the docs, they will really happy to have your commit. I mean, have your contribution. So start with small. If you know the basics, that's all you need. So yeah.
Yeah. Hansamali, I have been seeing. I have heard that you have a book launch coming up. Azure functions with Cosmos DB. Would you tell us more about that book, and hopefully when can I buy that book and from where?
Uh, I think it's already published by
Okay.
somewhere around June. So you will be able to get that from Amazon bookstore. So that's my first book. I have, even though I plan to write it within 6 months, it has been dragged due to some work related stuff plus the personal things. So you will be able to buy that from Amazon.
Amazing. So with that, I think we are getting to an end here. So like initially, like we planned this event to be a 40 minutes event, but it dragged up until like 1.5 hours. So I think this has been an interesting session. So I would like to get your feedbacks on these events and where we can improve and what we can do next, like what we can do better in our next session. Can I start with Keshan? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think this is a good one. You covered so many stuff that usually we will not be covering. This is not a tech talk by any means. So, y- like even we were not prepared. So, which means we have to speak out our mind. So, whenever you ask a question from us, we have to think and answer. So, which means most probably they are honest answers. So the format is good. Uh, I don't see any other like ways to improve. Probably get more interaction from the crowd because we got questions, of course, but uh, I mean, for me personally, I would like to talk to the person who is asking the question, seeing the person. I don't know. It's pretty hard. I know with this format, it's pretty hard. If there's a way to do that, that would also be good. And for the audience, I think if they can ask more questions that are relevant to them, uh, that would be also good because uh, the questions that we were answering are mostly from the organizing team. So if the people, if the audience have more questions, I think it would also be great. I mean, we are doing. I mean, not us. I mean, the organizers as well, doing this event for the audience. So it's. I mean, they should be in the spotlight. So they have to. If they can give us the direction, it would be really beneficial, I guess, rather than we are driving it. If they can drive us, that would be the ideal scenario, I guess. Yeah, I mean, but this is fantastic. Thanks for organizing this.
Thank you, Keshan. Dilum?
Yeah, I think not much to add to what Keshan said. Like this is perfect. I would say it's almost a fantastic job. But I think we have limitations in StreamYard as well because I have also hosting StreamYard shows. So I also prefer like one-to-one interactions because it feels more natural and like we can understand the tone and what he's actually meaning because now like let's say even we don't understand the question like we can't connect with them back. Maybe they have disconnected or they have just dropped the message and left or something like that can also happen. So I say it's more. I say it's a really good concept, and I really liked it because Tech Madalawa and it sounds what you all doing. So because experience sharing is something like actually lacking in the content that we search for YouTube or anywhere because there's a lot to learn from others and there's a lot to learn from everyone's experience. So that's what I think you're also trying to bringing up as content. So I think yeah, improvement wise, I didn't. Nothing comes to my head at the moment. But if there's anything like I'll definitely reach out to you guys or like share my thoughts on WhatsApp or anywhere where I can contact any of your organizers. So yeah, wish you all the best for the coming shows, and I would say like keep doing it because that's something that we need to do because we see a lot of shows, and we see those shows are discontinuing like after some time. But I prefer having content, because when we are delivering something only, like we also learn from that, and we also like we basically learn from our mistakes, the challenges that we are getting. So I wish you all the best, and I believe that you guys will be, like continuing this for like 100 plus or 300 plus, whatever the number of plus shows. And I'm also like looking forward to join as a viewer next time onwards to see what others are speaking.
Amazing. That's the goal.
Thanks.
That's the goal. Thank you. Hansamali?
Yeah, I think Keshan and Dilum already narrowed down everything that I want to say. It was a pretty good show. So it's not the technical one that you have focused only for one stream. We as Sri Lankans, the maybe the undergrads, grads, or the people who are in the industry, they have some questions that we don't have a platform to discuss that. It's only limited to a one company, or we don't have a space to discuss those matters. So keep doing these kind of shows. So I also will be like to join these next episodes as the audience. So wish you all the best, and thank you very much for having me.
Amazing, amazing. So we like with that we come to an end our first ever TechMadalawa show. So like for the viewers at home, this might be a one single show where you get where you get to watch a video, but the amount of work that we have to put into this is huge. Like we actually started discussing about this event, I think around 3 months ago, and we had chat with these amazing speakers around a month ago to plan this initially. And even if you see only 5 people in the screen, like we have several other people's we have seen, if you can see my second screen, I have 4 WhatsApp groups going on. I have 2 online documents shared, and we have 2 people in the backstage maintaining this StreamYard. So I would like to thank all of them, the MLSC community, and the students who work with us to make this a success. And at last, I would like to thank all of you, Dilum, Hansamali and Keshan, to spending your valuable time with us, sharing your valuable experience, and hopefully you guys will continue to join with us and give us feedbacks, and we would like to have you again sometime as well. So with that, I would like to end this event. Thank you all. Have a wonderful night, and let's meet next time in our TechMadalawa Season 1, Episode 2. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye. Good night.
Good night.
Bye guys, good night.